Let's be clear, the 997.2 Carrera isn't just another Porsche. It's the last of its kind, and it's still within reach. Built from 2009 to 2012, this car delivers everything purists want without the six-figure price tag. That alone makes it rare. Under the rear deck lid sits a 3.6-liter naturally aspirated flat six with direct fuel injection. That's 345 horsepower, 287 pound-feet of torque, and a red line at 7,200 RPM. It's mated to either a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed PDK, and it still drives the rear wheels only. No frills, no fake sounds, just pure mechanical Porsche. And yes, this engine has no IMS bearing issues. That nightmare ended with the previous generation. The MA1 engine is stronger, cleaner, and far more reliable over time. But here's where it gets really good: hydraulic steering. Unlike the newer electric systems, this gives you road feel that's borderline addictive. You feel every weight shift, every corner carve, every throttle input. It's not just a driver's car, it's a daily if you want it to be. You get 23 miles per gallon combined, decent ride comfort, and a 130-liter front trunk. It's civilized when you need it, savage when you want it, and the design? Classic. Before the size inflation, before everything had giant screens. The 997.2 is one of the last 911s that still looks like a 911. Only around 35,000 were ever made, and with the market now heating up, that number suddenly feels small. The 997.2 Carrera isn't just a used sports car, it's a turning point. The last link in the chain before Porsche changed direction, and right now, it's still buyable. The next sections will show you why that won't last. But before that, a quick question to you. Are you eyeing a 997.2? Comment your budget below, and hit like if you're serious about making it yours. If you're waiting for prices to drop further, stop. The dip we're seeing in 2025 is artificial and temporary, and when it rebounds, the 997.2 will explode in value. Right now, you can still find a well-maintained 997.2 for 50 to 80K. Manuals trend toward the top of that range, and ultra-low mileage examples are already flirting with 90K. But just a few years ago, these cars were hovering between 35K and 60K. That's a 30% jump, and we're still early. So why hasn't it doubled already? Timing. The 2025 tariff hike added thousands to import costs. Overseas demand took a hit. The global car market paused. Not crashed, paused. What we're seeing is a momentary opportunity, because the fundamentals are rock solid. This is the last naturally aspirated 911 before turbocharging became the norm. It's also one of the last mass-produced 911s with a manual gearbox. After the 997.2, manuals became the exception, not the rule. And don't forget the hydraulic steering. That's gone now too. Production was limited, around 35,000 cars total, and unlike the earlier 997.1, these aren't plagued by engine issues. So collectors aren't just interested, they're hunting. In the past, we've watched air-cooled models like the 993 triple in value. There's no reason the 997.2 doesn't follow suit, especially with electrification killing off the soul of modern sports cars. Forecasts are calling for 15 to 25% annual appreciation. That means today's 70K manual could be a 130K collectible in just a few years. This isn't hype, it's history repeating. And when demand picks up again, you won't just be priced out. You'll be kicking yourself while watching someone else rev your dream from across a Cars and Coffee lot. Up next, what happens if you try to go cheaper or newer? So maybe you're thinking, why not just buy an older 911 and save the money? Totally fair question, until you see what's waiting on the other side. Let's start with the 996 Carrera. You can pick one up for as low as $25,000 to $40,000. Sounds like a steal, right? But here's the problem. It's not just the first water-cooled 911, it's also the most infamous. IMS-bearing issues, dated interior, and a reputation that even its fans admit is complicated. The risk? Catastrophic engine failure. Yes, it can be fixed, but you're now budgeting for a $3,000 to $5,000 retrofit on top of everything else. Suddenly, that cheap 911 doesn't look so cheap. Now, on the other end, you've got the 991.1. Newer, sleeker, more refined. You're looking at $65,000 to $95,000. But with that comes electric steering, a wider chassis, and a driving experience that's more GT car than raw sports car. It's fast, sure, but that visceral connection, it's diluted. This is what makes the 997.2 special. It lives in the sweet spot, new enough to be reliable and usable, old enough to feel analog and alive. It's a unicorn that still lets you shift your own gears, feel the road, and not sweat every startup. And if you're worried about resale, the 996's value is growing slowly. The 991's is flat. The 997.2, it's already climbing, quietly, steadily, and in all the right ways. So yeah, you could go older, you could go newer, but neither gives you what this car does: soul, value, and future upside. Coming up next, what it actually costs to keep one of these legends on the road. Let's get real. A Porsche might be affordable to buy, but can you actually afford to own it? Here's the good news. The 997.2 Carrera is one of the most reliable modern 911s. No IMS issues, no exploding cylinder liners, just old school flat six goodness with a track record for durability. But it's still a Porsche, so let's break it down. Routine maintenance runs between $1,800 and $3,200 a year. Oil changes about $400 every 5,000 miles. Brakes with rotors and pads, around $1,600 every 30,000 miles. Tires, budget $1,300 every 20,000 miles if you're running proper Michelin PS4s. Major services show up every 30k miles. Spark plugs are about $400. A new clutch, if manual, runs roughly $2,800. Serpentine belt? Cheap, around $200. Then there are the surprise guests. Coil packs around 80k miles, $1,300. Water pump, $1,000. PASM suspension, $2,500 if it goes soft. Bore scoring risk, extremely low. Less than 0.5% on the MA1 engine. But hey, set aside a rainy day fund just in case. Pro tip, skip the dealer. Independent Porsche shops can save you 30% or more. Want to really flex? Do your own oil and filters. Save $250 and earn garage bragging rights. Insurance, expect anywhere from $1,500 to $4,000 per year, depending on your driving record, location, and mileage. Going with a low-mileage classic policy can save you big. Want a ballpark budget? Set aside $3,300 to $7,200 per year all in. That's maintenance, insurance, tires, everything. And here's the kicker. Owners regularly report that these cars gain more in value than they spend in upkeep. One owner dropped $12,000 in 5 years, and the car appreciated $25,000. Coming up, how to spot the right 997.2 before someone else snags it. So, you're sold on the 997.2. Great. Now, here's how to make sure you don't buy a nightmare in a Porsche costume. First rule, don't chase low mileage blindly. A well-maintained 90k mile car with full records is usually safer than a 30k mile garage queen that's been ignored. These engines like to be driven, not neglected. Always ask for service history. You're looking for consistent oil changes every 5,000 miles. Spark plug and coil replacements around 30k intervals, clutch and belt services if the mileage fits. If a seller says just serviced and can't prove it, red flag. If it's a manual, ask for a DME report. That'll tell you how often it's been over-revved. Rev range 1 or 2? Fine. Range 5 or 6? That engine's been hammered hard. Look under the car. Is there fluid seepage, cracked bushings, rust around the exhaust flanges? These details matter, and they're often deal breakers when you're trying to resell. Do a paint meter test if possible. Repainted front bumper? Totally fine. A mismatched door or quarter panel? Now you're into accident territory. Either negotiate or walk. And always get a pre-purchase inspection. Yes, it'll cost $1,200 to $1,500, but that's nothing compared to a $15,000 surprise repair. Where to shop? Auctions are fine, but the best deals often happen in private sales on enthusiast forums like Renlist or PCA groups. You can dodge the hype tax and find a seller who actually gave a damn. Remember, a cheap 911 can become an expensive mistake, but the right 997.2, that's an appreciating asset with a 6-speed soul. Coming up, why this car feels like no other behind the wheel. Stats and spreadsheets are great, but let's talk about the real reason you want a 997.2. How it feels to drive. Fire it up and you're greeted by a flat 6 growl that's raw, not artificial. None of that synthesized exhaust trickery. Just real engine, real noise, real soul. Slide into first gear, manual of course, and you instantly notice something: the connection. The clutch is weighty, mechanical. The shifter, snick precise. No slop, no delay. You're part of the machine, not just pushing buttons. At speed, the 997.2 comes alive. The hydraulic steering loads up as you turn. No filters, no lag. Every bump, every weight shift comes through your fingertips. Modern cars try to replicate this. They fail. Cornering, it's surgical. PASM suspension keeps the body flat without killing comfort. Michelin PS4s stick hard, and when you roll into throttle at 4,000 RPM, the flat 6 wakes up and pulls like it's angry you waited this long. This car isn't scary, it's engaging. It invites you in. It rewards smooth inputs and punishes laziness. Not with violence, but with feedback. You don't just drive a 997.2, you learn from it. And yet, when you're done tearing up back roads, it'll settle down. Drive it to work, pick up groceries, take it on a road trip. It's not temperamental. It's Porsche doing what it does best, making performance usable. Compared to a 996, it's tighter, cleaner, more grown up. Compared to a 991, it's rawer, leaner, more personal. This is the 911 that balances modern usability with classic feel. And that's why it's not just another used sports car. It's the last affordable icon. Coming up next, the final verdict, and why 2025 might be your last chance to get in. So here's the bottom line: the Porsche 997.2 Carrera is not just the last affordable 911. It's the last one that delivers the full Porsche experience without needing a second mortgage. You're getting a naturally aspirated flat 6, a manual gearbox, hydraulic steering, timeless design, and reliability you can actually trust. You're getting a car that still talks to you, not one that lectures you through screens and sensors. Right now in 2025, pricing is in a rare sweet spot, $50K to $80K, but the market dip from tariffs and slowed overseas demand is temporary. Once that pressure lifts, prices are expected to surge. And based on what we've seen from other 911s, this isn't speculation, it's math. If you wait 5 years, you'll be looking at $100K to $140K for the same car. That's 15 to 25% annual growth. And that's if you can even find a manual at that point. And don't fool yourself with cheaper alternatives. The 996 has IMS baggage. The 991 has lost the analog magic. The 997.2, it's the last sweet spot. A car you can drive, enjoy, and still come out ahead. So here's your moment. This isn't just a car, it's the final chapter of an era. You can either own it or scroll past it until it becomes a what could have been. Which side of that do you want to be on? If you've got a 997.2, tell us in the comments. If you're hunting one, drop your target price. And if you found a deal, share it, we're watching. Hit like, subscribe, and tag the bell so you don't miss the next Porsche under the radar spotlight. Next video, we're tracking rising 911 values or taking the 997.2 to the track. Until then, stay fast, stay analog, and keep shifting.